2, 1, go.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Crooked Compass YouTube channel. Welcome back for another edition of Slide Night. This is where we've got no drone footage, no selfies, no slofies, just traditional old school slideshows taking you to some of the most unique and untouched places of the planet. So tonight we're heading to Ukraine. Welcome back to those who are regular viewers and welcome to those who are joining us for the first time. I'm Lisa Pogotto, the founder of Crooked Compass. Let's go. Yeah, we've got a Ukrainian whole real car, I should say, which is like Ukrainian vodka.
Oh,
yes.
boy. Okay.
A little bit potent.
Sort of moonshiny.
Yeah,
sort of something.
so sort of distilled from like rye or wheat, that sort of thing. Sometimes potatoes.
I've got a sneaking suspicion this isn't a sipping drink. Is this
Well,
one of the how are you meant to take it?
Well,
In one
yeah,
go?
generally it's in one go, but for the sake of the slide night,
We'll just sip and enjoy.
yes, cheers.
So, I'll do the lights. Ukraine.
Ukraine, yes.
Okay, so just give us a location.
Yeah, so Ukraine's quite close to Russia, so in the far east of the European continent.
Okay, and part of the old Soviet Union.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Okay, interesting. Okay, there's you and another cat.
Yeah,
What's going
yeah.
on?
Me and my mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love cats,
Yes.
and clearly this one loves me.
Okay.
So it was just quite fitting to kick off Ukraine with one of my favourites.
I'm thinking you must have a whole gallery of cat photos.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I do. And the other thing with this cat is he's orange, so he's kind of on brand for Crooked
He is
Compass.
bang on brand, absolutely.
Yeah,
Nice. Good find. Okay, so there's a lot going on here.
Yes.
I can see, I think, a fox on the
Yes,
ground.
you can.
That's amazing. And what are you holding there?
So that's a Geiger counter.
Okay.
So they basically count the radiation in the air or the ground.
So you at Chernobyl
I'm at Chernobyl,
here?
yes.
Okay.
That would probably put things into a bit more context.
Yeah.
So this is Chernobyl. This is right inside the exclusion zone. Inside that dome that you can see in the distance there is the
reactor?
the
Is
reactor, the remains of the reactor.
Wow.
So that is effectively the tomb that's encompassing it at the moment.
Okay.
And are standing outside of it with the Geiger counters to see what the radioactive level is. And that random fox down the bottom just lives. It just lives in the perimeter of the reactor
Okay.
and is fascinated by tourists.
Wow.
He hasn't bitten anyone or anything. He just comes over and is like a friendly dog.
Okay. Can we just backtrack a tiny bit? So
Yes.
if we're going to Ukraine and to join a Crooked Compass tour, where are we flying into?
So we're flying into Kiev.
Okay.
Yes.
And best way to do that from Australia?
Through any of the major carriers.
Okay.
So anyone that generally flies to Europe, Ukraine, Emirates, Etihad,
Yeah.
Qatar, any of those guys.
Okay. Great. And Chernobyl is how far from Kiev?
So it's nearly a 3.5, 4 hour, depending on the traffic drive.
Okay.
It's not close. There's not really anything near Chernobyl for obvious reasons, of course. It's about 230 k's from Kiev.
And is everyone given a Geiger counter when they go in?
If they want them, some people don't. Some people would rather not
Oh,
know.
Okay. But safe, obviously.
Yeah, it is. So one of the things with the long journey up to the Chernobyl exclusion zone, what we do is on the bus we actually play a video about the history of the incident, why it happened, what's happened since, about the dome, who's built it, who's funding it, what's inside it, what's happening with what's inside it. And whilst most people have heard of the Chernobyl incident, not a lot of people know what's happened since, or not a lot of people know what happened at the time, apart from the fact that there was the explosion. So it fills in a lot of gaps for people on the way up, and it also talks quite a lot about radiation.
Okay.
So radiation is obviously the big sort of safety concern for people when they're considering going to Chernobyl. And basically the amount of radiation that you get from being there for a day, which is what we do, is less than what you would get doing a transatlantic flight.
All right.
So
Okay.
when you sort of put it into perspective,
Yeah.
there's certain areas of the exclusion zone that are still very high with radioactivity, but we don't go there
Okay.
as tourists.
Are you old enough to remember it actually happening? The explosion of the reactor?
No.
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 I remember it being very, very bad at the time. Yeah, big, major event.
I was alive,
Yeah.
but too little.
Oh, okay, wow. Are we still around Chernobyl here?
So this is just outside the Chernobyl exclusion zone here.
Wow.
So
sunflowers.
yeah, they are huge,
Yeah.
and they just go on and on and on and on and on. So this is about 15 minutes outside of the exclusion zone. So we're still pretty close. We're about 40 k's or so from the core. And whether or not that has anything to do with these gigantic sunflowers.
No, I think sunflowers are always huge.
But you know, the guides like to throw a bit of conspiracy, get people thinking, that sort of thing.
So is that a farm? Is that a sunflower seed farm or sunflower oil farm or something?
There are farms, and then there are just randomly wild sunflowers along highways as well.
Amazing. And what time of year were you there?
So this was in July.
And do your trips typically run at that time of year, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Through the warmer.
Yes, we do go in the warmer months for a couple of reasons. One, there's fewer tourists because people think July's too hot to go to Europe.
Yeah.
Two, it's sunflower season, so
Beautiful.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And also too, there's a lot of because we visit a lot of sort of nature parks, and we go up into the mountains. Again, we have wildflowers in the middle of summer, which you just don't get outside of that period.
Beautiful. You're just exploring. Is this in or out of the exclusion zone?
This is out.
Yeah.
So this is in a place called. I'm going to have to excuse my pronunciation here. But Mizvinichki. And it's basically a national park. It's a new national park, and what they do, it's got wetlands. So they do a lot of cranberry harvesting here. So if you want, you can extend your time here and get on your waterproof overalls and go out and help do the cranberries in the water. But they've got a lot of biodiversity and wildlife here that is not really found in other parts of Ukraine. So a lot of rare breeds of frogs. There's a lot of birds that come here that don't come to other parts of Ukraine. Ukraine is especially around that sort of Kiev area. So you can do it as a day trip from Kiev, which is what we do. A lot of the nature has been quite slow to come back after the Chernobyl incident. So this is one of the areas that has now got the funding and the support to really help kind of revitalise the natural part outside of Kiev. And it's really beautiful. You have a ranger that's with you who walks around and sort of tells you about what's happening. There's a lot of volunteers that come here as well to plant seedlings and to data collect, and it's just a different side of Ukraine.
Nice. Same walk?
Yeah, so this is walking through the wetlands, looking at all the regeneration of reeds and water-based plant life as well. It's just lush, green and beautiful. And
wow, mushrooms.
Yeah, so wild mushrooms. So we can also we also do go foraging for wild mushrooms here as well. So with the forested area, there's a lot of mushrooms, many that are unsafe to eat, but many that are safe to eat. So these ones are all safe to eat.
The guides they know the
difference? They know the
difference?
difference, yeah. So the rangers come with you and they help you, or they actually harvest them for you. And you take them back with you, and you get your chef to cook them up at your hotel and make them into a meal for you. So it's a true forage type of experience, which is really cool.
It's a proper getting your hands dirty experience.
Yeah, and it's really awesome because you can't do that here.
No, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful photo.
Yeah, stunning. So that was our ranger.
Yeah.
And that's his wife, and this is their little house that they live in inside the national park.
Wow.
So we actually went into their house, which is literally 3 rooms, and the way that they heat the house is they have this sort of hollow concrete wall which has a fireplace inside the wall, and so the heat sort of
radiates through the house.
Yeah, and that's how they heat the house. So we had a traditional Ukrainian meal with them, with lots of borscht and the typical.
Is
sort
borscht like beetroot soup or something?
Yeah, it is.
Like
Yeah,
that?
with the bread.
Uh-huh.
Lots of foraged foods as well from the forest. So it was a very sort of forest to plate type lunch experience. Yeah, really, really fantastic, and such beautiful hosts as well. Really proud of the work that they're doing in this park, and really wanting to get people to come and visit, because very, very few travellers would even have heard of this, let alone know that it exists.
Yeah. And is an experience like that, where you go into someone's house and have a meal and spend time with them, fairly typical of the kind of experience that someone would get on a Crooked Compass tour?
Yeah, it is. We really try and be a lot more immersive rather than just, visiting house, walking through and snapping some photos. We really want to understand the local family, why they're here, what their life is like, because generally it's so different to ours. So really getting that much more immersive experience, and making those connections as well.
Yeah, super valuable.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we now?
So this is Lviv. So this city is beautiful. So this is their Armenian quarter. It's just stunning. The whole city is stunning. It's got, you can see right there the intricate light posts as well. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost kind of Parisian,
Mm-hmm.
with the flowers, and every building's a different colour. Fantastic little local bars and restaurants and hidden underground tavernas, that sort of thing.
So great sort of walking city.
Yeah, cobblestones, old school, very, very beautiful, very quaint.
And if you're in this kind of place, would you have quite a bit of free time?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we're in the cities, we of course do a bit of an orientation tour to cover off the main sites, but then we always allow free time for people to explore on their own and get lost and have their own adventures.
Fantastic.
So again, this is just the streets of
That looks
Lviv.
like
They're
Italy
just,
or something,
yeah,
doesn't it?
they're beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not really what a lot of people would expect or think of when they think of Ukraine.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay. Something's on fire there. What's going on?
So it's like a big kind of pork knuckle type of thing,
Yeah.
covered in what we're drinking at the moment actually.
Ah, okay.
And then set alight.
Flambéed.
Yeah, flambéed pork knuckle.
Wow.
And again with lots of pickled vegetables and that sort of thing.
Okay.
In Ukraine. And in the background there are those two bowls there.
What are they?
They're big bread dumplings
In some kind
with
of
like cheese sauce.
Okay.
So very
sold.
heavy, very delicious.
Very hearty. It's going to sustain you through a winter. That
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. The food in Ukraine is quite heavy in
Okay.
general. And yeah, traditional wooden cups we were drinking out of. as
Yeah.
well.
What were you drinking?
We're just drinking beer, Ukrainian beer.
Out of wooden mugs.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
No splinters.
No, nice and smooth.
Very good. Oh my goodness! Look at this.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So
Yeah.
again, this is Lviv. It's al fresco dining, beautiful coloured buildings, very well restored and preserved, and it's just beautiful. You could be anywhere in Europe, really.
So, and does Ukraine have a emerging tourism industry, or is it fairly well established?
It's well established for Europeans because it's so accessible.
Yeah.
For us, it's still a destination that people are a little bit nervous about. Obviously, there's still a bit of tension with Russia and Ukraine, and that makes people a bit unsure about wanting to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And also too, just the lack of knowledge. A lot of people don't know what is in Ukraine that would be a draw card to get people there, and that's why I wanted to show you these photos, just to show you how beautiful it is and what people are missing out on.
Good thing you've showed me because
It's on the list.
yeah, it's really annoying. Yeah. The list is getting longer. Okay.
So we head up into the Carpathian Mountains. So the Carpathian Mountains actually run between Ukraine, Romania and Slovakia.
Uh-huh.
And this is really where time has stood still. So the main mode of transport up here is still horse and cart. That is how the locals get around. The roads are terrible or non-existent.
Mhm.
And so you sit in these wooden carts with wooden wheels that make for a very bumpy ride.
Yeah.
But that is how you get around.
Wow.
So we have a few days up in these mountains, and it's all about seeing the traditional local customs and the local life.
So right now, where are you going in
So-
this cart?
On this cart, we are on our way to, so we're in a village called Hutsal, and we're going to see some of the Hutsal egg painting ladies.
Ah.
So, yes,
Okay.
there's, you may have seen them generally around Easter. You see these, they look like eggs that are hand painted in really intricate details. So these originate from this part of Ukraine.
Wow.
And we go and visit the elderly ladies who still hand make these Easter eggs and have a go at it ourselves.
Beautiful. Oh, like this?
Like this, yes.
Okay.
So again, instead of
My
going to a
goodness.
workshop, we're in somebody's home.
That is beautiful.
We've got dogs running between our feet, we've got children tugging at our legs, again, just like, true family home experience. And this lady, she hand makes Easter eggs as her living and exports them or sells them to the larger villages as well.
And are they wooden eggs? Is that what you
No,
said?
they
proper eggs?
are an actual egg, so varying in size. So she's got everything from sort of ostrich eggs to duck eggs to chicken eggs,
Okay.
and basically just like blows the egg, so it gets all the gunk out of it, like what you do when you're in primary school.
Yeah.
And then they get painted, or they get stained, and then they get painted in different layers, and actually use wax, hot wax for each layer, so that you paint over the wax and then you melt the wax off, and it leaves the colour
Okay.
behind. So you kind of do everything backwards.
Yeah. So it looks like she's putting a hole in an egg there
Yeah,
to
that's
drain
right.
it?
Yep. So she's about to start the process there, and so we all tried our hand at this, and we were all pretty useless at it
Oh,
because
really?
it's so intricate. But we certainly had a go.
Good old Aussie guy.
Yeah, so this is her
okay.
demonstrating to us
That's
how they
beautiful.
do it. So that black is wax.
Okay.
And so when that wax gets melted off, there'll be a different colour.
Colour over the
left.
top.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is also in the Carpathian Mountains, but further up.
That's feeling pretty
Mountains.
remote. to
This
me.
is really remote. So in the Carpathian Mountains, they still have true shepherds. And what I mean by that is they take the villagers' cattle and sheep up into the high pastures in the middle of summer. Doesn't look like summer here, but this is how high we are.
Right.
And because of the pure oxygen up here, it produces a better quality of milk for cheese and whey and that sort of thing. So these men are literally living in shacks like that for 3 to 4 months.
Tending to the
cattle.
herd, yeah.
Yep. And it's not even their cattle, it's the villagers' cattle. And making the cheese and the milk and the yogurt. And every now and then the villagers will drive up. So to get up here, you're literally driving up waterfalls and roads that are not that great,
Yeah.
like it's hardcore forward driving basically. And the villagers come up here, collect the milk and cheese and then go and sell it.
Wow.
So it's a really amazing experience. So we have no itinerary when we're up here. We literally slip into the lives of the shepherds. We watch what they do. They cook us a real sort of...
So you stay up here or
no,
up for lunch kind
we're
of
just
thing?
up for lunch. So they cook us like a peasant meal, like basically what they eat when they're up here. And we also go wandering through this forest and do more foraging. So not only are the mushrooms here like what we had earlier on, but there's also a lot of wild berries as well. So raspberries, blackberries, and that sort of thing too, which we pick and we take them back to our guest house in the Carpathian Mountains. And again, the chef there whips it all up into our dinner for us in the
Beautiful.
evenings. Yeah,
What a
really, really
fun
special.
experience.
Yeah, very cool. So this is inside
Some
the
cheese
shepherd's hut.
making or something? What's
Yeah,
he doing?
that's right. So he's separating what will become cheese,
Yeah.
and he'll drain it, and then in the back room he's got all the different cheeses hanging and drying. And so just behind him there, where it looks like a pile of Hessian sacks, that's actually his bed.
Oh wow.
And you can see the cheeses up on the top shelf there.
Yeah.
Those ones are dried, ready to be picked up and taken back down.
So you obviously sampled some of the cheeses.
Yeah, we did, and we got to have a stir of the pot and help squeeze the cheese and that sort of thing. But literally, it is just a room like this in these houses. So they're sleeping next to a live fire with this cauldron type thing,
Yeah.
and it's a 24-hour job to keep it all moving along.
Good cheese.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
Nice. Okay, where are we now?
So we're now in Chernivtsi, and this is one of the larger towns in Ukraine. Most well known, it's got this huge university that's like a castle. But one of the more progressive cities in Ukraine. It is an area that was quite an important strategic point in World War II with Germans, and this city has been occupied by pretty much everyone that was involved in World War II. So it's got quite an interesting history. It was once a Jewish town as well, so there's still a lot of Jewish people and a lot of Jewish heritage here as well.
Yeah.
Just really fascinating to walk around. It's got a lot of sort of quaint boutique hotels. Lots of trendy coffee bars are now starting to crop up, little underground bars as well. Different feel to that of Lviv, but certainly still quite beautiful. And
you stay here?
we stay here. We spend a couple of nights here,
Okay.
just because it's great shopping as well. I bought a whole lot of office clothes in this
Oh,
town.
did you? Really?
I did, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful city to walk around and really safe and easy as well. Stunning parks as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So what's going on here?
So there's 2 huge castles in Ukraine, and this is one of them. One is called Khotin, and this is the other one, which has every letter of the alphabet in its name. So don't ask me to pronounce it.
You're off the hook.
But both of them very sort of enchanting, fairy tale, very Disney-like. And this one, you can pretty much walk through all of the turrets, through the walls to all of the different buildings. And it's just a fascinating place to walk through. The other one is more focused on torture. So torture chambers, a bit more of a dark history. So I haven't thrown that one in there. But both of them quite strategic in terms of when Ukraine was, fighting for land mass and that sort of thing back in the 1800s.
Wow.
Oh, there we go. There is the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, so a traditional big drawbridge right on the water.
Yeah.
So with these castles, they used to get attacked by sea or by river,
Yes.
and they've got the watchtowers as well. So this is the one that has the torture chambers and all sorts of interesting,
Grim and ghastly.
yeah,
History.
dungeons and that sort of thing.
Okay. Proper dungeons.
Yes.
Oh, it's a little lighter than the castle.
Yeah, so this is actually in Kiev, in the capital. So Kiev is, it's a really fascinating city. It's starting to become very artsy. So they're doing a lot of these murals on a lot of the older buildings to bring some colour and life to the city. So it's a very young city in terms of the population is sort of early 20s, early 30s. And so with that is coming a lot of the, funky coffee shops, bars, a lot of expression, personal expression. And it's really a progressive city in terms of wanting to move forward, really wanting to forget the negativities of the past, and
Right.
really wanting to showcase that Ukraine is, a country that's
In a revival.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
So this is a common mural. They're pretty much on every single building, and
No,
they're
really?
just stunning. They all have different meanings and that sort of thing too.
Wow.
So yeah, really quite beautiful.
Awesome.
I hope you enjoyed travelling through Ukraine with us this evening. Don't forget to click on the notification bell to get notified every time we upload a new video. Be sure to like, share, and share your comments below as well. And for more information, be sure to head to our website, www.crooked-compass.com. The tour that you followed us through tonight is called Ukraine Untouched. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!